Richie Diaz and I started Vetstock in 2012. And the idea of it was that we knew there was a place for us. We knew we had to do something. We're both Vietnam veterans, came back from Vietnam. And we came back at a time when this country was in big trouble. There was a lot of dissension. We were not treated well. We were not well liked. And that, I think, went to our heart. The guys going now and the women, they are subject to multiple deployments. They come back, and they deserve a welcome home. They deserve support at home. This is an all-volunteer army. I mean, no one's forcing these people to do what they do, but yet they're suffering horrible injuries, long terms away from family. The suicide rate is absolutely incredible in veterans, 22 a day. They're coming back horrific injuries, no arms, no legs, TBI, and yet they still survive. So, we feel an obligation to be there as a support. We're not going to let happen to them what happened to us. We just can't make that happen. We raise money and we donate money to organizations that service veteran families and veterans. When we raise money, we raise money for different organizations or for specific projects. Either maybe we need a defibrillator for an American Legion. A lot of the American Legions and a lot of the VFWs and the smaller veteran organizations don't have the ability, they don't understand how to raise money. They can raise a few dollars here and there, but when they need thousands of dollars, there's an ability to do that. We bring them with us. We teach them how to raise money, and they can strike out on their own after that if they like, and we'll still, we'll support them with volunteers, we'll support them with advertising, or any way we can to make that organization a viable organization that can take care of themselves and raise their own money. Vetstock started out in Pike County. We started out as a local organization out of Milford, Pennsylvania. Currently, we've just expanded out into Pike County, into Wayne County, out into Monroe County, and we've just created an expansion out into Scranton area. But Vetstock will go anywhere. We have resources everywhere throughout this country. If there's a veteran in need and we get word of it, if we can help, we're gonna help. Doesn't matter where they are. We started out with a group called Homes for Our Troops. And basically what they do is they build a house for disabled veterans. We raise money, donate it to the foundation, and then the foundation builds a home based on their sponsors throughout the country, an unmortgaged home. So what we agreed to do was to isolate it to our area. Corporal Reyes, the first Cav, we found out through our network that the corporal was in a nursing home in the Bronx for 11 years. He was in such a state, he couldn't take care of himself. His family is the story. He's the story, but his family is the story. His family took care of him every day. They went to that nursing home every day from here in Pennsylvania to take care of him. That guy had to come home. We said it, Richie and I said, one way or the other, he's coming home. We don't know how, but he belongs home. No veteran that served that long and did what he did and sacrificed what he did deserves being in an old 10 by 12 room in a nursing home. He needs to come home to us. Homes for Our Troops, they built a home for him up just outside of Honesdale. 47 different enhancements for his disability because he can't even get out of bed. They've got to lift him out of bed. So there's lifts, there's a trolley system through the house. He has full-time care. One of his nieces is now his full-time caregiver because he needs a full-time caregiver. But you know what? He's home. He's in his home because that home's his. When I'm asked so many times what Vetstock is, it's the volunteers. What makes Vetstock special are volunteers. It's not a single person or a group. It's volunteers, and it's anywhere from 75 to 100 people who offer their time willingly anytime we ask, whatever we're gonna do. They're more than happy to jump and help and do what we need to do, veterans and non-veterans. If you had to describe Vetstock in one word, it would be volunteers. That's, I think, the best way to describe it, because that's what makes it happen. Every minute that you volunteer, or every hour that you volunteer, or anything that you do for Vetstock, you volunteer, you make a difference in someone's life down the road. And it's not an organization that's buying tables. It's a direct influence on the care of an individual that needs your help. The events, they grow. We'll do different types of events, sporting events. We do the Wayne County Fair. Those types of events have grown. We're going to hone down to a couple, 3 or 4 big events that we're going to do. Everybody realizes what works now, what doesn't work. A big part of our operation is donations. I mean, we had a gentleman donate a house to us 2 years ago. So that put us on a stable financial foundation. Most organizations that do fundraising, they don't have that. They have a couple $1,000s in the bank, and they try. Everybody's always struggling to do something, but here you've got a solid financial base that you can operate. You can expand your operations out to different things and bigger things that are going to get you more attention. And that's the key. Get yourself out in the public eye. Get the attention. Have people. You have to have confidence. People are going to give you money. They have to have confidence in the fact that you're going to deliver what you say you're going to do. Vetstock has taken a life of its own, and that's what's happened to it. It's an entity that's been created as an entity to raise money, but now it's a living, breathing thing. I mean, it's to sit back and watch it as one of the founding members. For me, it is gratifying every time that we go about giving money to someone or making that difference in someone's life. It is a huge gratification on my part because I know that I'm living up to what I said I was going to do. I will never let happen to another veteran what happened to me, and every time we do that, I'm living up to that vow. So I'm very happy with that. We always worried about what the veteran felt, the disabled veteran, and what the veteran needed. But you get a veteran who's been killed in action, either a woman or a man or sister or brother. That family, they're on a limited time. They're told they need to leave the base if they're living on base. And where do they go? What do they do? I mean, sure, there's a monetary piece to the puzzle, but they're alone. You think about that. Their family's alone. So Folds of Honor has stepped in, and basically what they do is they provide scholarship money. It's the legacy of the veteran. They provide scholarship money to that family. If your serviceman's killed in action, you apply to Folds, and it's a national foundation.
And the mission of the Folds of Honor is very simple. It's to honor their sacrifice and educate their legacy.
And what we do is we donate to the foundation. And at that point, once we do that, we can identify who we're going to give money to. Currently, we've given to many of the soldiers out of the 109th up in Scranton.
It's exceptionally rewarding to be able to meet the families, and when you sit with them and have an open-hearted conversation about their husband or their wife and who they were and how special they were, and whether they're community involved or they were just a really solid individual. The one question I always get from the families is, why are you doing this? And quite honestly, and it gets emotional at times, is that we want to make sure that you know that our community has never forgotten the sacrifice that your son or daughter has made, but more importantly, that the sacrifice that you're making every day, and that we're here. We remind you of that in some small part that we can say thank you, and that we're still here. We honor your sacrifice, and we don't forget, and we never forget.
My name is Mac Adis. I'm the executive director at Camp Freedom. Camp Freedom is an 1,800-acre property, and we specialize in taking care of our disabled vets, our disabled first responders, their families, and Gold Star families. It's a great adventure. It's a great, exciting job to be a part of because we get to participate in the healing process in so many of our veterans' lives and so many of our first responders' lives because they all see things that they can't forget. I was privileged to come into contact with Vetstock, and Vetstock is a great organization, really vets helping vets. And their whole mission is to fundraise and provide a means for other veteran-based organizations to have some financial stability, some financial resourcing to be able to accomplish what their mission is. And so we've partnered with Vetstock, and it's just been a great partnership.
Vetstock has been doing a lot of good helping out veterans in this local area, in this local community. I personally have a great deal of gratitude to the U.S. military and to our veterans here in America, because my family wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for the U.S. military fighting in the Korean War. We are truly grateful that they liberated Korea and allowed at least half of the nation to be free and to become prosperous and enjoy the fruits of liberty, which we have here in America. And I just want to make sure that everybody knows that America and the American military is appreciated around the world. And you know, this military in this country has done more good than any other country in the history of the world. So for our veterans and for our fighting men, God bless you. Keep on marching.
It's a focus of good. You know, we had so much bad in our lives. You know, in 1968 or 1969, we were at the bowels of this earth. It was a horrible place to be. And now we're at the top of our life. We're ready to go. And now is the place where we can actually make a difference. You know, so I don't have any enemies anymore. I'm kind of done with the enemies. You know, I don't have any, in wartime, I don't have any enemies. You know, it's such a terrible toll it takes on people and these young people, and what it does to their lives and their families is just absolutely incredible. You know, so I'm kind of over the anger of war and all of those things that came with it. It's you know, it's time that we get our priorities right and get our people, you know, get the support that our military men and women actually deserve. So, and Vetstock can contribute to that. That's what we're going to do, you know, and that's what the legacy of Vetstock is going to do. You know, these volunteers and these people that are stepping up, they're committed to it. They are absolutely committed to it, you know, and they're going to move forward with it. So.